Okay, our next topic is budgeting methodologies. In this topic, we will discuss what are the different ways we can prepare budget, what are the different methods of preparing budgets. So the first one we have is a pretty interesting one, the project budget. Project budget is different from other budgets. Why? Because project, when we say a project, project means any activity that has a starting and an ending. Like let's say if you are constructing a, just like job order costing, you are constructing a big aeroplane, for example. So all the cost related to that construction and related to manufacturing administration will go into that particular project, and it has an ending. Maybe it will take 6 months or 8 months and the project is over. So project budget clearly means a budget of all the cost expected to attach to a particular project, such as the design of a new airliner or the building of a new single ship. What kind of budget it would be? Very simple. It's not something that is technical. Let's say this project is completed in 1 year, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So there are 5 or 6 functions related to this project. We have a design function, designing department. For designing department, we will spend 800,000 in the first quarter. All this is budget. 200,000 in the second quarter. And when the designing is complete, then there is no further designing cost. So total designing cost is 1 million. But the engineering work, it will go on from quarter 1, 2, 3, and then it's over in quarter 4. Right now, it makes sense. Since the project was in designing and engineering in the first quarter, there was no production, there was no marketing, but accounting is always there. We need accountant even when there is no business. Accountants and human resources, they are always present. That's why their cost exists in all these quarters. But production started in second quarter and ended in the quarter 4. Marketing was started only in quarter 2 and will complete in quarter 4. So this is all expectations for the coming year for a particular project. All these are estimated numbers what we are going to spend in the future for this particular project. This is called a project budget. It is unlike, there is not a single question in GLIME involving project budget, interestingly, because it is too simple. You would be given the numbers and just need to plug them in the right place and right time period. Next type of budgets are the activity-based budgeting. Interestingly, there is not a single question on this budgeting also. There is not a single question on ABB, activity-based budgeting, not a single question on project budgets. So then just, this is one of the budgeting methodology in your textbook, so that's why I'm discussing it. Most of the questions you will see will be related to zero-based budgeting, rolling budgeting, flexible budgeting. So activity-based budgeting, it starts from different activities we will have in the coming period. Like maybe we will have 500 production setups. We will have 500,000 material handling. We will have 600,000 machine hours. So the budget that is placed upon activities of different type that go into producing a particular product or service or a variety of goods and services. So this budget is based upon different activities that will go on in the coming period. The most important here is the zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting given right here. This is where you will find most of the questions. Zero-based budgeting, it's a very effective budgeting and planning system. In this system, the manager must justify his budget every period. Let's say if we prepare budget yearly, the manager must justify that. Let's say if the administration manager is asking for $100,000, then he must justify where he is going to spend this money in detail every year. Every year he should start from zero, and from zero he goes up to 1 million and he says justify each expense. So this zero-based budgeting was basically originated in the US Department of Agriculture way back in 1960s. Then it was later on used by a very big international firm called Texas Instrument. It was used in almost the same period, 1960s. And then later on, one of the US presidents, Jimmy Carter, he tried to use this method in the government, but it didn't work. I will tell you why the zero-based budgeting is not very popular. It's a good method, a very good method to control the cost. I will also tell you why this method was not accepted by the larger organizations, why it's not used. It's a very effective method to control your cost because there is no budget, zero budget. If you are the marketing manager and you need a budget for advertisement, okay, come sit and tell me what you need and where you will spend. You justify every dollar. See, this is something why zero-based budgeting isn't very popular, because you have to justify every budget from zero. There is no budget. You have to convince the management that this is where you're going to spend your money. And that is something that you are not comfortable with. So what we do basically in the normal budgeting system, we go for incremental budgeting. Like for example, our admin manager in 2021, he was given $100,000 for administrative expenses. In 2022, okay, give him 120. This is called incremental budget. Okay, what was the budget we gave to our marketing manager last year? We gave $500,000 last year for advertisement and so on. Okay, now I think give him $700,000. This is called incremental budgeting. This is bad. This is bad. Why? Because there is no question. There is no question. In zero-based budgeting, let me tell you the difference. There is no budget in 2021. Admin manager will have to justify every expense before the resources are allocated to him. Marketing manager must justify every single expense before the budget is approved. Next year, in 2022, we don't consider what was the budget last year. We start from zero. We start from zero. Admin manager must build the budget from zero and justify every element of expense. Here in 2022, there is no base, zero base. Okay, marketing manager must start from zero and build up the budget. Maybe it will be up to now 410, for example. See, so this is the benefit of zero-based budgeting, that we re-examine all cost so that we can reduce or eliminate the cost that is no longer required. That's the benefit of zero-based budgeting. Okay, so let's discuss some advantages of zero-based budgeting. Yes, it's a very effective budgeting system. This will result in efficient allocation of resources. Your resources will be used where they are needed with cost-benefit analysis in mind. This budgeting method will drive managers to find the cost-effective ways to improve operations, cost savings. If you inflate your budget, what you discussed previously, budgetary slack, you overestimate your expenses and you underestimate your revenues. Zero-based budgeting will detect inflated budgets. It will catch you. If you try to cheat, zero-based budgeting will catch you. You won't be able to justify your spending. Fourth advantage is that it will increase staff motivation, because now they are more responsible and they will have to justify every expenses, so that to some responsible employees, this is quite a good opportunity to prove themselves. Next advantage is that it identifies and eliminates wasteful and obsolete operations, operations that are no longer needed, processes that are no longer needed and they're just incurring money. We can eliminate them from our system. It will force the cost centers to identify their mission and their relationship to the overall goals, so that they should keep their costs at the lower level or minimize or totally eliminate that cost which is not essential, so that organization can meet its objective, its goals. And the last point says that when you are using zero-based budgeting and previously you were spending on activity A and later on you identified that the money spent on this activity is a total waste, then you can find that instead of putting money on A, why don't we invest money at B? This will be more beneficial for the firm. In other words, instead of wasting your resources, you find some alternative courses of action. What can we do so as to make good use of this money spent? right? So this is the good advantage of zero-based budgeting, that you question yourself, you re-examine every cost so that we can eliminate those processes not needed. We can eliminate those costs that are just wasteful spending. Then the next one is a good budgeting methodology called the rolling budget. Let me first explain this with an example, then we'll come back. Now, this is an excellent example of a rolling budget. Let's say a company prepared the budget for the next 4 quarters on quarterly basis. These are some product lines: feed, animal health, fertilizers, crop protectants, petroleum, and farm supplies. Let's say these are the expenses related to these product lines in the coming quarter, or maybe you can say that maybe it's, if these are the product lines, maybe these are the sales. Let's say, just for the sake of understanding, these are our likely sales of these products in the coming quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, we were expecting quarter 1 to show 12 for feed, 2, 80, 74, 120, and 15. Okay. As the time progresses, the actual result for quarter 1 will come. We will compare the quarter 1 budget with the quarter 1 actual result and see how did we do with feed, animal health, fertilizers, crop protectants, petroleum, and so on. Right? So this will reveal some variances in the first quarter, and then accordingly, if some changes are required, we may change our second, third, fourth quarter also, because maybe some assumptions have changed, so we might require some revision here. So when the first quarter is gone of the first year, year 1, we attach the first quarter of the next fiscal year. Now we have again 4 quarters, second, third, fourth quarter of the current year and first quarter of the next year. Now what will happen with the passage of time? You will have the actual numbers for your second quarter. You can compare these second quarter's budget with the actual second quarter numbers and see where did we have the variances. Explain them and justify. And then we will attach the next second quarter of the second year. This is called rolling budget. As one quarter is over, you attach the next quarter from the next period. As the third quarter is over, you attach the third quarter of the second year. So budget keeps on rolling from quarter to quarter, and it is revised regularly so that our budget remains updated and fully relevant. And this is what has nicely been put here. A budget that is revised on a regular basis is called a continuous budget or a rolling budget. So what we do in this budget, a company continuously extends such a budget for an additional month or a quarter in accordance with the new data as the current month or quarter ends. Means once a month or quarter is over, we attach next month and quarter, and this budget keeps on revising itself. Yes, it is time consuming, but this is a very good method of budgeting because it keeps on updating as the time passes. So if the budget cycle is 1 year, a budget for the next quarter will be available continuously at each quarter end. So one quarter is over, you attach the next quarter, and if you are making it on monthly basis, you do it in the same way. So why do we prepare such a budget that requires regular revision? This is the reason. Advantage is that when we prepare the rolling budget, it requires managers always to be thinking ahead. You keep on looking forward so that changes can be made accordingly as the circumstances are unfolding into the future. So your budget remains relevant as the time passes. You keep on revising it. But the drawback and disadvantage is that you need to spend more time on revision. So the amount of time managers must constantly spend on budget preparation because it needs regular revisions. This is one of the drawbacks, but still it's a good method. So that completes your budgeting methodologies.